Me give a hit and run. Just a be a bad girl rolling on me crown. This unconditional love I got for you. My outfit a murder, it's a felony.
Welcome back to World Music Views.
Thank you.
I think our last interview was 2018.
Probably.
Where will Shenseea be in 5 years?
International. If you say 7 years, I'd probably be acting.
You want to go into acting?
Definitely.
That has always been
To be an international artist is my ultimate goal. And once I've achieved that, then I would love to pursue a career in acting.
Yeah.
And probably can have money go on and do something for the soundtrack, you know?
And at the time, you said you were going to be an international artist.
Wow.
This is 2018. Do you think you have accomplished much since that time? And what are some of the things you think you've accomplished since 2018?
Of course, I mean, since 2018, I dropped my album, my first album, Alpha. I'm about to drop my second. I've definitely matured musically. I would say I've learned a lot. I've grown. I'm not gonna get into the chart details, but yeah.
No. You killed the chart. Alpha was the most consumed dancehall album for 2022.
Yes.
I don't know if you knew that.
Yes.
You sold 60,000 first year,
yes.
right, between March and December.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a year when several dancehall acts dropped albums. How does it feel to be a relatively still new act and making waves like that internationally?
I mean, actually, I just do the work. I don't too pay attention with all the stats around me, to be honest, you know, because that's how I keep focused. I feel like once an artist starts to focus on the stats, it's like it's so distracting. So I just really try to keep a tunnel vision on the art.
So how do you measure your success? How do you track yourself going from point A to point B?
Well, how I measure my success? I say I'm successful when I see everybody in the crowd singing about my songs. You know, that's my favorite part of, you know, just releasing music and seeing how well it does. When I see everybody vibing to it and singing it back, like, I love that feeling. So I'm like, okay, this one's a hit, in other words. But apart from that, it keeps me motivated to just be in the studio to see, okay, I did this topic, what next can I bring forth to life? You know, what next can I speak to the audience with to make them feel like they're a part of my artistry and to make them relate to me as a person.
And you're now an inspiration for a lot of young girls, a lot of aspiring artists. They're looking to you as a template for what to do because you literally went from 0 to 100. So do you take that as a responsibility? Just like you had looked up to Rihanna and all those people, they're not looking up to you. Do you see yourself as a role model?
I believe that I am, but I would very much like to say, don't follow me. Like, the reason why I'm saying this is because I don't know what I'm doing. Like, I am just moving forward with my energy, you know, and just trying to let God lead me. Everybody's journey is different, and so for me, I've learned that me looking up to, you know, people like Rihanna or Whitney Houston and stuff, if I try to follow in those footsteps, it will never work because I can never be that person. The journey is never gonna be the same, ever. So I would just say you can take certain parts, you know, learn from my mistakes that you have seen me make, or look at things that has worked for me, but not to apply too much to yourself because you have to be creative in your own way so it can work for you.
Have you attained your goals, the things that you set out to attain?
Well, I released my first album, didn't go #1, sadly, because I think who was on the #1 spot? Is it Bob?
Yes, Bob is the
It's Bob. So you know what? I'm technically #1 when you think about it, because Bob can just always stay that spot there. But for me, I would say I broke out in the industry, and that is the most achievement that I can say for myself where music is concerned, because in order to do anything else, you first have to break out in the industry. And we did that, you know, me and my team. But as opposed to like me achieving my own personal, like my goals, I'm on the way, I'm not there yet, you know, which I feel like I have to win a Grammy because I've been dreaming of that ever since I was a child, and to just fill stadiums, and you know, it's on the way.
So success doesn't feel successful, is what you're saying?
No, there's far much more work to be done to achieve what I would like to achieve. And that is why, you know, as I said, I don't get too caught up in the stats.
You mentioned the Grammy, and just out the gate, you got nominated for Album of the Year. Through a technicality, but still, that's
Yes.
to your credit. You've been nominated for Album of the Year, but you didn't attend the ceremony. Why didn't you attend the ceremony?
I just feel like I won't feel fulfilled or satisfied knowing that it's just a contribution more than something that I really put my heart and my soul in. Of course, we all want to win a Grammy, but if you focus on just winning the Grammy, you're only gonna feel bad in yourself, like your work wasn't enough to be nominated to win a Grammy. And you know, like, as I said, you just do it with pure intent. Like, just do it for the art. If it gets it, it gets it. If it don't, it don't. But what is for you can never be taken away. So it doesn't matter how long it takes, it will get to you once it's yours.
You're Jamaican, but you're also Korean by way of your father's heritage, right?
Yes.
And South Korean music is one of the most streamed music globally. Would you enter the K-pop world and do a collab or do a full-out Korean song in honor of your heritage?
I am going to step in the K-pop market. Yes. No,
Exclusive.
Yes, I am going to step in for sure. Like, we've already started making some moves where that is concerned, but I'm also pacing myself because I don't want it to seem like, oh, yes, I'm half Korean, so I'm somewhat like a little bit entitled, but I don't want to go in not knowing anything about the culture, you know, because I was raised in Jamaica for over 24 years. I'd like to take my time to even at least learn some words, just to have respect for the culture, you know, and to learn more about the food, just the cuisine, everything about it. So I'm doing that right now. I just went to Koreatown for the first time the other day. Yes, it was so amazing. Right now, I'm retiring all Jamaican and American snacks. I'm sorry, Korean snacks, they're it.
What's your favorite Korean food?
I just had Korean barbecue, which is just a variety of stuff. But there's this specific snack that I tasted called turtleback snacks. It's a corn chips. They have it in different, like they have it in cheddar. This one was a corn snack and it was so good. I tried the kimchi, kimchi or kimbuchi. I don't remember what it was. It was like some cabbage in some red sauce. Not my favorites. They have purple rice. That was really good too. The Korean fried chicken and their sweet pepper pancakes. Yeah.
And you're raising a son who is becoming a global citizen. We see him everywhere. At his tender age, he's at Formula One races, meeting some of the biggest people in sports and living the life of the dream life of a 5-year-old, right? How do you manage being a mom and being a superstar? And do you have to discipline him, or he's well disciplined and you just allow him to do what he does?
Never allow him to do what he wants to do, ever. Like, no, I'm not that type of mom. I'm the 50-50 mom where I'm 50% strict and 50% fun. You know, I always try to create that balance because I feel it's important in everything that we do. Balance is super important. So it's really harder now. It's harder now than it was a couple of years ago, because when I started, he was just like 3 months old, right? But so I could bring him everywhere or just leave him and I wouldn't have to care too much about how he thinks because he's a baby. But now it's a bit different because he's growing into his own individual and he has his own thoughts. And so now when I'm leaving for work, he's like, where are you going? You just got here, this is that. And I don't like to see my baby bicker about not spending enough time with me. So I think that really makes me feel somewhat bad now because, you know, I don't want to leave, but I just have to. So I would say it's harder where that's concerned, but it's not crazy because he also supports my dream. So he does understand. He just wishes that we would spend far more time together because we have the most fun. But I do discipline him 1000%.
What's his favorite Shenseea song?
Wow. Why? Yeah. I don't know. He sings side chick song. He sings foreplay, and I'm like, hey, stop it. I'm like, stop singing it. He sings side chick song, foreplay. He likes lighter. He loves lighter, and he loves hit and run too. I don't know. He's just a fan. Like, he can sing my songs like He wrote them.
What about his song?
He's actually on the new album, Never Gets Late Here, and he's the intro where he always, like, I will find myself in some moods, you know, just being down sometimes, and he would just see me and just give me words of encouragement. And I thought that was it's just always beautiful to hear from my child, you know, to give me some extra motivation. So he's actually on the track, and that's how we started the album, and I think he really likes that one. It's called Facelift.
Wow, so Rvssian is now a 2-album kid.
Yes.
How old is he?
He's 8.
Is he the youngest ever Jamaican performing artist? I think me
I think so.
started at 6.
Oh, really?
Say never, me no want to feel no pressure. Oh, from the beginning, this thing a never ending. Never, 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 no. Never, 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 no.
But he's probably among the youngest
Yes.
ever Jamaican recording artists.
And he's not shy. I can tell you that.
Shout out to Rvssian. Let's get into the album. Who are some of the producers you worked with on the album? That's Never Gets Late Here.
We did Rvssian, Super Dupes, The Genius, Jordan Chimney, from Chimney Records, of course, David Chimney as well. Ilya. I did Ramesh. We did Stargate, London on the Track, who is actually the executive producer of the album. Super Mario. Yeah, it's just a ton.
You're just dropping names casually. Stargate is not just anybody. This is one of the biggest super producer groups of all time. What was it like working with them?
Oh, it was so fun working with Stargate. They're so down to earth and they understand the music, you know. And what I like the most about them, me being in studio with them, I was singing, you know, like in my English sound, and they were like, no, use the patois, use the accent. And I love that because they embrace my authenticity.
London, he was on the album before.
Yes.
He's on this album as executive producer. What's that relationship like with you and him working together?
Oh, London is super talented. I think he's one of the most talented producers I've ever came across. Why? Because I think that he can step into any market. Like if I tell him to make soca, he can put soca elements and it just sounds great, you know? And that is why I found him fit to be like, okay, you know music. Because playing music is one thing, but hearing and knowing what a hit is so different. And I think that he has the ear for that, because a lot of the records that I dropped or, you know, that other people dropped before they came out, he was like, that's a hit, and it hit, you know? And I became a fan of him when he did Summer Walker's album, Over It, because I did not even know that he did that album. I was just so caught up in the music and I was like, this music sounds so great, only to find out that he's the one that did it later on. He's very talented, 1000%. So I had no problems with him, you know, collaborating.
So who was Hit and Run for?
Hit and Run? My ex. You know, I had to double back feel like a sort of, what's the name, girl? Hi!
Hit and Run is charting in about 40 countries. It signaled your return to dancehall reggae because Massacre and The Genius was on it. Was that deliberate to make a song that connect with the core base, but still, obviously it's connecting worldwide because it's charting on Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube in over 40 countries?
Yes, it was deliberate. It was intentional. I feel like there was such a stigma around my name. I was like, where did this come from all of a sudden? You know, and I feel like people lost sight of my ability and what I could do musically. So I was like, okay, you know what? Being the fact that me and Massacre really have been looking for a song to collaborate on a long time, I said, you know what? I feel like people are not giving me the chance to still show them what I can do. So let me just show what I can actually do and just put it out there. You know, and that's why I said that, Massacre, what you think about this song? Because I know it's a hit, you know? But because of the stigma, I feel like people are gonna shoot it down anyway. So I said, you know what you think about this one? And to my surprise, he loved it. He saw the power of the song from early and he hopped on it, and it did do what it was supposed to do for both of us. You know, so all parties are extremely happy with this record. We have no regrets, and it's one of our favorite songs and in our top 5 songs on Spotify as a streaming song.
Yeah. And you previously, you went into the hip hop world. You did some freestyles. You collaborate with other rappers. On this album, you also collaborated with Coyle Ray. And you brought her to Jamaica.
Yes.
And she got bored at Carnival, rightfully so.
Hey, she said, this is not for me. I'm ready to go.
How did that relationship come about? And are you being embraced by hip hop more now?
I don't know. I think I haven't received any bad vibes from the artists overseas. But the relationship with me and Koi came about where she was actually the only artist I remember I reached out to, and I was like, yo, keep your head up, because at one point they were dragging her. I'm like, what the hell? I cannot even fathom how she's feeling for the whole internet to be coming down on her. And I messaged her and it was like, yo, I gave her some words of encouragement. And when I saw that she had players, I was like, yes. I went in her DM again and I was like, yes, girl, like, I'm so happy for you. So the relationship built from the very first time I messaged her and just show her love, when the whole world was hating on her. And I think when I did Flavor, I need somebody who is young and hip and vibrant to hop on this song. And I wanted two artists actually. First, I wanted to feature Bruno Mars because I feel like the vibe of the song was like, oh, it's just like his style. And Bruno passed on it, and my second choice was Coyle Ray, and I reached out to her. She loved it. She did it. She crushed it. I love the way she sounds on it. Like, she sounds so... she did exactly what she was supposed to do. I love that song. I love her verse. I love how she commanded the song. And so, yeah, you guys need to go check it out. That's how it came about. And because we were already building a friendship, I invited her to Jamaica. And she made some time for me, which I really appreciate, because that was in the middle of her Coachella rehearsal week. But she still found the time to come down. We made her have a great time. And yeah, she enjoyed it. We vibed out, and people were thinking that, she just here. No, but we were actually shooting a music video the entire time. I wanted it to be very authentic of her enjoying the culture and just her just experiencing the food, the people, the love, the vibes, and that's what it was. I didn't want to make it too overproduced. I wanted it to be like a vlog, and that's what we did.
A guy recently said he's actually the A&R that worked with Sean Paul back in the days, Maury Elias. He said that there's nothing coming out of Jamaica, no artist coming out of Jamaica that's as good as those coming out of Africa. And Afrobeats is much better than reggae dancehall right now. He singled out your name, TJ's name,
Say about me.
Byron Messiah, and he called them, he didn't call you a one-hit wonder, but he called them a one-hit wonder, but basically saying there are no hits coming out of Jamaica. What do you say to people like him and others who are measuring your talent in this era with what came before?
Let me tell you, the music speaks for itself. I don't think he's wrong, and I don't think he's right. I think he's just somewhat in the middle, and he just forms his own opinion. But if you really compare the music from now to back then, you can't fault him for thinking that way, because we had more music coming outside of Jamaica back then than now. I feel like, I am on the scene, Spice doing her thing, Skilly Bang did his thing, he's still doing his thing. He got two or three songs out for the past 3 years. So that would be why I say he's wrong, because we do have music still crossing over. It's just not as much as it was before, but everybody is entitled to their own opinion. I am here to just be an ambassador for the country and the culture, and to try and break more barriers, which I think I'm already doing. And I do want more of our music to cross over, but I don't think it will ever happen until the people support the artists. That is a very key element. If you see an artist stepping out on the international scene, it shouldn't be nothing bad way to say about them. We should be showing people that we are one and we are moving together, because that's how the Africans do it as well. So I don't think it's mostly the artist's fault. It's also, the people have to blame as well. Like, you have to support. You have to go buy the album. You have to go stream. You have to take part in the movement. As you know, and we not supporting just we not support, but if you not see no action, don't complain. You know?
Yeah. Afrobeats, you went into the Afrobeats chart several times. You worked with several Afrobeats acts. And Wizkid, who sold Diamond, with a dancehall song, by the way, 'cause One Dance is a dancehall song. He's on this album. Are you tapping into that market space now?
Everybody taps into Jamaican market space, and that is why I think Jamaican people are so confused where I'm concerned. I'm tapping in because everybody are tapping over here, so like, are we blind? You know? And people are reaping rewards of the back of our culture. I think that we deserve this. You know, but music not live on nobody's yard, and that's why I feel like it's okay to tap in our culture. But don't complain when we tap into other people's culture as well. It makes no sense. You know, the reason why they're winning is because they also fuse it with our culture and fuse it with their culture, and so it can be digested by more than one audience. And that is what I'm doing because I don't see the play. But not to say I'm doing it deliberately. I'm doing it for the fun and the art of what it could be and how far it could reach. But I think I do tap into Afro music more now because one, I'm really enjoying the Afro wave. I love the African artists. You know, their beats are kind of similar to ours with the vibes and the dancing and it just, you know, it mesh. I always say that Africans are like the cousins of the Caribbean, you know? So I think that we are one as well. But yeah, I'm tapping in more because I'm just enjoying the Afro wave right now. Me collaborating with Wizkid, I love that song. I love that song. And I can't wait for everybody to go stream it and hear it. I think that people are waiting to hear it as well. So I'm curious to see the feedback.
And Anita, I like Anita by the way. She just have that vibe there, which is a similar Jamaican vibe because the Brazilian
reggaeton
funk is very thumpy. You know, she just did a song with Shaggy and Rvssian last week, and she has done other songs with Sean Paul. This is your first time working with her?
Yes, it's my first time working with her, but me and Anita are cool too. Like, we've been building a relationship over the years as well.
Yeah, I saw you and her at Coachella.
Yes. Yeah, Anita was in my circle for quite some time because she was managed by someone who was close to me. So that's how we developed our, you know, our friendship. But yeah, she's really cool. Always vibrant, always happy, always laughing. Listen, I need to part with her more, to be honest. You got it.
So what else do you want? You have a gold record with Kanye. You're probably gonna get another one for OK as well. You have a gold record with Tyga, which I believe should be more than gold now. You should check on that in Music Canada. You got nominated for a Grammy. You dropped your debut album, which was the #1 most selling dancehall album of the year. You've been on MTV for the Video Music Awards. You've done so much. What else do you want in the music industry now?
I want to perform at the VMAs. I definitely have to win a Grammy. I want to perform in stadiums, filling the arenas first, because I don't want to skip the algorithm, you know? I like to move in steps because I enjoy the process. I don't want to be like, oh, I'm up here so quickly. No, actually, I enjoy the trajectory of just going up. So yeah, VMAs, awards, Grammy, stadiums, arenas. I definitely need a Hot 100 song. I need something to hit that chart, you know? Like,
Do you think you have it on this album?
I don't know. I try to not have any expectations for this album. I want to be surprised, you know? And I just want the people to enjoy the music more than saying, oh, let's see if it does this and if it does that. Because that's what I think is also putting pressure on artists and the music these days. You feel like if it doesn't hit a certain chart, it's not good. Makes no sense. You know, if you enjoy the music, you enjoy the music. It doesn't matter where it goes. Like, we have so many underground artists that makes great music. You won't stop listening to them because they're not the biggest of the biggest? No. So I don't have any expectations on my album. I just want to release it and let the people enjoy it.
Fashion. You're very easy to look at. One.
Yes.
And then you're very eccentric with the fashion. You remind me of Grace Jones a little bit, because Grace was very edgy, and she wasn't afraid to push the boundaries. You know, you don't look like Grace Jones though. 'Cause Grace was more androgynous, and you're more feminine, right? So you're femme fatale. But you were taking risks early on, you know, with your hair, your clothes, all of that. Are you gonna go into fashion later on in your career?
I'm in fashion right now. But more in it, yes. Somebody that I look up to right now in fashion is Kanye West. I always say that, you know, Kanye, you need to come be my creative director real soon, because I love, and he styled me for the Donda album, right? His sense of fashion is just out of the box, you know? And I love stuff that are out of the box. Like, I love weird fashion. I haven't stepped into the weird fashion yet, but that's exactly where I'm heading. Because to me, it's an expression, and I like to be talked about. When people look at me, they're like, what is she wearing? We're gonna find out, what is that? You know? So even though it's not the most beautiful, it gets your eyes, like, it grabs your attention. And that to me is like my favorite part of fashion.
Like performance art.
Yes.
Constantly in
Just
motion.
looking at me. My favorite thing to hear when I'm wearing something is like, what is that? You know? But I'm about to go really crazy, but just not yet. Right now it's time for the music.
There has not been a woman on the Billboard 200 chart. And you mentioned the Hot 100, but the Billboard 200 has not had a woman on it in 10 years from Jamaica, since Tess and Chin. And that was just after she won The Voice for that album. And you're about to enter your second album. Is this something you're interested in? And what would that mean to you if you hit the 200?
Wow, that would be amazing. I mean, who can complain about that? As I said, I won't put it on my mind to say it has to hit the chart, but I would not be upset if it did. You know, I would still be out there just celebrating. And regardless, I'm going to be celebrating because I did put a lot of work into this project. So upon its release, I'll be still celebrating like I just hit the 200. So yeah.
You and Rvssian, you said, were at odds for quite some time. And you said you mended fences. Are you in a good space with Rvssian and the label right now, going into the album's release?
The label and Rvssian never really gave me any problems though when it comes on to like releasing my music, you know, which I am grateful for, because, you know, I see the bad girl Shenseea don't voice in there, but yeah. Yeah, they've never given me any problems when it comes on to releasing my music. But Rvssian and I are very like, we're cordial now, like we're good, you know, we're cool. And I feel like people took it as a way like, oh, they're enemies. It was never that, you know? I was focused on music. He was really doing his own thing. And, you know, time flies quickly these days, if we're being honest. So me just locked in and dialed in and focusing on my project, like, I didn't have time to think about a slight misunderstanding. You know, I've had other things to worry about. So the fact that time passed for so long, it's just like, that is why I chose to drop Die For You, to show that it's not that serious. You know, we linked up in the studio, had a quick conversation. We did the song same day, you know, and we released it. He's still now on my project because, you know, it's no reason for me to say, oh, he can't be on a project or this misunderstanding, because it's not that serious to me.
You still cooking?
Of course, always cooking. In the studio and in the kitchen. Always cooking.
What's on your menu now? Like, do you find time to cook, and what do you cook now?
It's recently, the past few weeks, I haven't been cooking as much because I'm so busy. The release is up on me. But I did some sweet and spicy, so I say honey habanero lobster.
Our rich people food is
Honey habanero lobster tacos. I did that recipe just straight off the bat, off the top of my head. It was so good. I have to put that down as a recipe to put in my cookbook.
So you're dropping a cookbook?
I am.
What's it called?
Shenseea.
Ooh.
Couldn't nothing else.
So nice already.
Yeah, so all the faves, all the recipes that people saw on TikTok and they love, they will be in my book. It's gonna take some time though. That one is gonna take some time because you know curating a book is like, it takes a while.
And my last question, what will fans get from this album? What should they expect?
Well, just like the first, you should expect versatility. I hope some of the new records that I put on there will blow your mind away, especially one called Heaven on Earth. I think I've received a lot of great feedback, you know, just playing them at my listening events and my listening gatherings, that they love Red Flag with Anita. They love Heaven on Earth because it's so different, you know. You can hear the growth in my vocals. Definitely some Afro vibes. Strictly dancehall there as well. It's an album that caters to every and anyone, so nobody can complain, you know. And as a versatile artist, I'm exploring my creativity, and you will never be bored with this album. It never gets late here because all the records on it are timeless music.
Buju Banton back in the US. Before Buju was locked up, Buju was at the top of the game, selling out Madison Square Garden, him alone 4 times. What do you think him being back in the US mean now in terms of the face of reggae music?
Boy, Buju, as the face of reggae music, let me join you up on the stage. You know, I would just really like to be there. My favorite song is Champion, yeah, the remix, yeah, call me. I'm very happy for him, you know, he deserves it. Because he did great things for our culture back in the days. And him being released and being back in the US, I can't imagine what next is to come for him. You know, I'm just wishing him the best. Any Jamaican out there, I'm wishing you the best because I really want our culture to be recognized more and get the credit that we deserve. And we can't do it one by one. We have to do it together. So I support all my Jamaican acts.
Man, I could see you doing Champion remix.
I love that song. Gee. Me love my man, him love me. Baby, me give you loyalty. Big up me man, him a real OG. Whoa, you are the love of me life, now I don't want you. Me no friendly, me not this yo. I when rich a man want spend pan me too. No boy can't compare to me, man. You need good love and me response for you. You are mine and me belong to you. And if I pussy this, no man a act. And if I pussy this, no man a bad man for you. No boy can't compare to me, man. All through drama, me in him corner. You can call me a man clone if you wanna. Feel me love no disappear when times harder. Only time you see me switch it up in a genre. My man is all I can ask for. If me I am head, him a the farmer. But me see myself as Michelle to Obama. Cause I'm a loyal partner. You are the love of my life, now I don't want to you.